Have you ever felt like you're living two lives, one the world sees and one only you know exist? Do you ever wonder why some women seem fully present yet somehow far away, as if part of them is always walking a different path? What if that quiet double life isn't confusion at all, but the hidden strength that keeps a rare kind of woman grounded in a noisy world? Welcome to time-tested advice, where ancient philosophy meets the modern world. I'm your host, Alfred. Let's get started. Some people live one life to survive, others live two to stay sane. Have you ever wondered why some women seem to exist in two worlds at once? The Sigma female is one of them. She moves through life like everyone else, but beneath the surface, there's another version of her, quieter, deeper, and far more aware than the one the world sees. She's the woman who can laugh in a crowd while her mind is quietly studying the energy around her. She gives just enough of herself to keep people comfortable, but never enough for them to fully understand her. To most, she appears calm and collected, yet inside her thoughts are a storm of reflection and understanding that few could ever imagine. This dual life isn't about deception. It's her way of protecting her peace in a world that often misreads sensitivity as weakness and independence as arrogance. Her outer life allows her to function in society, but her inner life is where she truly lives, where her mind, emotions, and awareness breathe freely without judgment or noise. She doesn't split herself for attention. She does it for balance. One life is the mask that allows her to move unnoticed, and the other is the sanctuary where her truth lives quietly, untouched by chaos. Sigma females don't live two lives by choice. They do it because one world isn't big enough to contain everything they feel, think, and understand. Let's dive into it. Number 1. She lives where reality and observation meet. She lives in a space most people never notice, between reality and observation. She's present, yet slightly removed. She laughs when others laugh, but her mind is quietly studying what made them laugh. She listens to conversations, not just for the words, but for the tone, the pauses, and the unspoken meanings that hang in the air. It's not that she's detached. It's that her awareness runs deeper than the surface everyone else swims in. The Sigma female doesn't just live life, she studies it. She pays attention to details most people overlook, the way someone's eyes shift when they lie, the sudden change in energy when a truth is avoided, the smile that hides exhaustion. She sees layers where others see outlines. To her, life is both participation and observation. She can be part of the moment, but another part of her is always collecting data, trying to understand the truth beneath behavior. For example, when she's at a social gathering, she might be chatting casually, but inside her mind, she's quietly reading the room. She notices the friend who forces a laugh to hide discomfort, or the person who talks loudly to cover insecurity. This isn't judgment, it's awareness. It's her way of navigating a world that often values appearances more than authenticity. This ability is both a gift and a burden. It allows her to connect with people on a deeper level, but it also makes her feel separate from them. While others live through emotion, she lives through perception. She can't unsee what she observes, and sometimes that truth isolates her. Yet this is where her power lies. She understands that life is never just what it seems. Every moment has a hidden script, and she has learned to read between the lines. Living between reality and observation makes her both participant and witness, a rare balance that keeps her wise, aware, and quietly untouchable. Number 2. Her mind never fully arrives anywhere. She can sit in a room full of people smiling, talking, even laughing. But a part of her is always somewhere else. It's not that she's uninterested or cold. It's that her awareness stretches beyond the moment. While others lose themselves in the noise of the crowd, she remains half inside, half outside, quietly observing life as if she's both the main character and the audience at the same time. The Sigma female experiences life differently. She doesn't just live it, she studies it. Even in her happiest moments, there's a small voice in her mind, analyzing, reflecting, and questioning. When everyone else is caught in the moment, she's already a few steps ahead, thinking about what it means, how it feels, and what she'll take away from it. Her consciousness is like an open window, always letting in more than most people are prepared to see. For example, when she's surrounded by friends sharing stories or jokes, she enjoys the energy, but she also notices the subtle distance between words and truth. She might see a forced smile or sense an unspoken sadness hiding behind someone's laughter. And even while engaging, her thoughts wander into reflections about human behavior, connection, and meaning. This is why people sometimes call her mysterious or distant. It's not detachment by choice, it's depth. Her mind can't stay in one place because it's constantly processing, learning, and evolving. She watches herself live the same way an artist studies their own painting, trying to understand what each stroke represents. This kind of self-awareness can feel like both a blessing and a weight. It gives her clarity, but it also keeps her slightly apart from the flow of ordinary life, while others simply live. She exists in layers, part participant, part witness, never fully here, never fully gone, but always quietly aware of everything happening within and around her. 3. She has the mask of belonging, but the soul of an outsider. You can place her in any room, and she will adjust with ease. She listens, smiles, and speaks in a way that makes others comfortable. People think she fits in everywhere, but inside she knows she doesn't truly belong anywhere. Her ability to blend is her strength, but it is also her quiet burden. The Sigma female understands people well enough to adapt to them. She can sit among dreamers and talk about ambition, or among thinkers and discuss the depth of life. But deep inside, she never feels rooted in any of it. Her heart always stays near the exit, just in case she needs to leave. She walks through the world as if she's visiting, not staying. And maybe that's what makes her so rare. She connects without attaching. For example, she can spend an entire evening laughing with friends, sharing moments that seem warm and genuine. Yet when the night ends, she feels a subtle emptiness, not sadness, but a quiet reminder that no matter how close she gets to people, there's always a part of her that stands apart, the observer, the traveler, the one who never lets the world fully claim her. This detachment isn't coldness, it's protection. She has learned that belonging can sometimes cost individuality, and she would rather be true to herself than be accepted by pretending. Her mask is not deception, it's survival, a way to move through different worlds without losing herself. If you're enjoying this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, say hello, and consider subscribing to our channel. And if you'd like to support our channel further, become a member by clicking the Join button below. Her soul remains that of an outsider because she was never meant to fit perfectly. She was meant to understand, to experience, and to move freely. The world may see her as one of them, but she knows she's walking her own path, always inside, yet slightly beyond, belonging everywhere and nowhere at the same time. Number 4. She is both the student and the teacher of herself. Every day her life gives her lessons that no classroom could ever offer. Her experiences are her textbooks, and her emotions are her teachers. When something goes wrong, she doesn't just move on. She studies the pain. When something goes right, she doesn't just celebrate. She reflects on what it taught her. Her growth doesn't come from outside instruction. It comes from the quiet way she dissects her own journey. The Sigma female has mastered the art of turning life into wisdom. She doesn't wait for others to tell her what to learn. She pays attention to her own reactions, her mistakes, her moments of joy, and her disappointments. When someone hurts her, she studies why it affected her so deeply. When she feels peace, she tries to understand what created it, so she can return to that place again. Every emotion becomes a note in her private study of human nature. For example, after an argument, most people might dwell on what was said. She, on the other hand, reflects on her tone, her triggers, and her patience. She asks herself why she reacted the way she did, and what that reveals about her growth. This is why she rarely repeats the same mistake twice. She learns in real time. Her inner world works like a mirror classroom. One part of her lives, and the other part observes. One part experiences, the other analyses. She learns how to forgive, how to let go, how to rebuild, and how to remain grounded while others seek mentors or external guidance. She becomes her own. This makes her both evolving and stable, both wise and curious. She is her own life's lesson, always learning, always teaching, always rewriting her understanding of herself as she walks through the ever-changing pages of her story. Number 5. She doesn't live two lives by choice. Life shaped her that way. She didn't wake up one morning and decide to become two different versions of herself. The world taught her. Every disappointment, every betrayal, every time her depth was mistaken for coldness, it all pushed her to build a quiet world of her own. One version of her exists for the world that prefers surface-level comfort, and the other lives deep inside her solitude, where her truth can finally breathe without judgment. The Sigma female learned that not everyone deserves access to her full self. When she tried to show her vulnerability, people called her too emotional. When she spoke with honesty, they called her intense. Over time, she realized that to survive in a shallow world, she needed two selves, one that blends and one that truly feels. The outer one gets through the day. The inner one keeps her soul alive. For example, at work or in social circles, she plays her role perfectly. She smiles. She listens. She delivers what's expected. But once she's alone, she steps out of the performance. That's when the second life begins. The quiet one filled with thoughts, reflection, and peace. It's in that solitude that she processes what others ignore and heals from what others never notice. This isn't about pretending, it's about balance. She carries both lives because the world often misunderstands depth as difficulty. Her second life isn't an escape. It's her oxygen. It's where she finds meaning, where she remembers who she really is. So when you see her calm and composed in public, know there's another version of her waiting behind that stillness. The real one, the sacred one, the one that life forced her to protect. She didn't choose duality. She mastered it to survive and to stay whole in a world that rarely understands her kind six. She shows strength, but hides exhaustion. To everyone around her, she seems unshakable, the one who never falls apart, the one who always finds a way through. People admire her resilience and call her strong, but they don't see the cost of that strength. They don't see the quiet moments when she sits in the dark, wondering if holding everything together is really worth it. The Sigma female carries herself with calm certainty, but that calm often comes from years of emotional labor no one has noticed. She's the one others run to when life gets heavy, yet when her own world feels too much, she has nowhere to go. She learned early that people love her strength, but rarely know how to handle her weakness. So she keeps her exhaustion hidden behind steady eyes and a gentle voice. For example, she could be helping a friend through heartbreak, listening with compassion, offering advice that sounds wise and grounded. But when she gets home, she sits quietly, feeling a weight she never talks about, not from the friend's pain, but from the silence that greets her afterward. She's strong for everyone else, but rarely has anyone strong for her. Her strength isn't effortless. It's built from long nights of reminding herself that breaking down won't make things easier. She endures because she must, not because it never hurts. She understands that life doesn't pause for tired hearts, so she keeps showing up even when her spirit is worn thin. What makes her extraordinary isn't that she's unbreakable, but that she continues to love, to care, and to give while carrying invisible exhaustion. She has mastered the art of appearing whole while rebuilding herself quietly inside. Her strength is not the absence of pain, it's the courage to face it without losing her softness. Number 7. She speaks in one language but thinks in another. Her words flow in a way that makes sense to everyone else, polite, clear, and well-measured. Yet her mind is always operating on a much deeper wavelength while people hear what she says. Few ever understand what she means. Her thoughts move slower, wider, and reach corners of understanding most people never explore. The Sigma female often finds herself translating her inner world just to fit into conversations. She knows that most people prefer lightness, so she keeps her depth tucked behind simple words. When she says, "I'm fine," it might mean she's holding back a storm. When she says, "It's all good," it could mean she's already analyzed the entire situation and accepted what others are still trying to process. Her communication isn't dishonest, and it's filtered. She speaks what the world can handle. For example, during a casual chat about life or work, others might be venting about problems. She listens quietly, offering thoughtful responses, but her mind is already peeling back layers, thinking about cause, emotion, and the lesson behind it all. She sees meaning where others see moments, and sometimes that difference isolates her. This duality makes her both relatable and unreachable. People feel drawn to her because her words seem calm and wise, yet few realize how much depth is hiding behind that simplicity. Her mind doesn't race, it reflects. She doesn't think for the sake of replying. She thinks to understand. That's why she often feels like she's living in translation, constantly bridging the gap between what she feels and what she can express. Her silence at times says more than her words, because not everything she thinks can be spoken. Her outer language connects her to the world, but her inner one keeps her rooted in truth, slow, deep, and quietly brilliant. 8. She wears peace as armor, not as a gift. The calm you see in her isn't something she was born with. It's something she built through trial and pain. People admire how she stays composed no matter what happens. But what they don't realize is that her peace was earned, not given. It's a form of protection, a shield she crafted after learning that reacting to everything only drains her spirit. The Sigma female didn't wake up one day calm and centered. Life taught her through countless lessons that chaos always demands attention, and peace requires discipline. She used to fight every battle, explain every misunderstanding, and chase every closure. Until one day, she realized that peace comes when you stop trying to convince the world and start preserving your energy. That's when her calm stopped being a mood and became armor. For example, when someone tries to provoke her, she doesn't engage, not because she's afraid or indifferent, but because she understands the cost of emotional exhaustion. She knows that arguing with chaos never brings clarity. So she smiles, stays silent, and walks away, not from weakness, but from wisdom. Her stillness carries history. Behind her soft tone are stories of pain she never shared. Behind her composure are memories of nights she spent trying to rebuild herself. Every calm breath she takes is the result of choosing not to let the past dictate her peace. So, when people say she's peaceful, they mistake it for serenity. But her peace is not gentle. It's strong. It's a quiet defiance, a decision to remain centered in a world that constantly tries to shake her. She doesn't wear peace because life was kind to her. She wears it because it wasn't, and she refused to let that turn her bitter. Number 9, she is visible yet unknown. Everyone sees her. They greet her, talk to her, and believe they understand who she is. She's there in every conversation, calm and composed, offering thoughtful words that make people feel close to her. But what they don't realize is that they only see her surface, the version she allows the world to meet, the real her, the one that feels deeply and thinks endlessly, stays hidden behind quiet eyes and steady smiles. The Sigma female knows how to be present without being fully revealed. She can share stories, laugh at jokes, and give advice that touches others. Yet no one truly knows what's going on inside her mind. It's not because she's secretive for the sake of mystery. It's because her inner world is sacred, too rich, too honest, and too delicate to be carelessly handed out. She's learned that being understood is rare, and she would rather be misunderstood than exposed. For example, people might describe her as confident, peaceful, or mysterious. They admire her poise and balance, but they have no idea how much she carries quietly. When she goes home, the mask comes off, and the second version appears, the one that overthinks, feels deeply, and reflects on everything that happened during the day. She processes what others dismiss and notices what others overlook. This dual existence makes her both open and unreachable. She's easy to talk to, but impossible to fully know. You can stand right next to her and still feel there's a distance that can't be crossed. Her invisibility inside visibility is her power. By keeping her true emotions guarded, she maintains control over her peace. People see her light, but never the fire that fuels it. She lives in full view, yet her truth remains untouched, a mystery even time cannot unravel. 10. She builds a private world of meaning. She builds a private world of meaning, one that exists far beyond what anyone sees. On the outside, she looks like everyone else, moving through the routines of daily life, saying all the right things, smiling at the right times, and playing her part in the world's script. But when the noise fades and she's alone, she retreats into a world that belongs entirely to her. A quiet universe she's built from thoughts, memories, and unspoken dreams. The Sigma female understands that peace cannot be found in constant exposure. While others seek validation from the world, she finds it in solitude. Her private world isn't about isolation, it's about alignment. It's where she reconnects with what is real, where she doesn't have to explain or perform. She has her own language for her thoughts, her own quiet rituals that help her make sense of life. Maybe it's writing in a hidden journal, staring at the night sky until her mind feels light again, or taking long walks that no one knows about. Whatever it is, it's hers, sacred and untouchable. For example, she could spend a morning surrounded by people and noise, yet feel drained by midday. Instead of complaining, she slips away into her private space, maybe with a cup of tea and a playlist that mirrors her emotions. To others, that might look like doing nothing. But in truth, that's where she recharges and restores her balance. She doesn't share this world easily because not everyone would understand it. It's built from experiences that shaped her, from lessons she never had the chance to explain. This hidden space is her anchor, her compass, and her therapy in a world obsessed with being seen. She chooses to be understood, even if that understanding exists only in her own private sanctuary. It's not loneliness, it's sovereignty, and that's where her true power lives. Number 11, she guards her boundaries like sacred doors. Over time she has learned that not everyone who knocks on her life deserves to walk all the way in. The Sigma female may listen, support, and show kindness, but she doesn't confuse access with entitlement. Just because someone appears often does not mean they are allowed to stay deeply. She pays attention to how people treat her time, her energy, and her vulnerability. When she senses entitlement, pressure, or subtle disrespect, she doesn't debate it. She simply closes the emotional door a little more. To others it may feel sudden, but in her world it is the final step in a long pattern she has already noticed in silence. Her boundaries are not walls meant to punish people. They are gates that protect the peace she fought hard to build. Number 12. She outgrows versions of herself without waiting for permission. The Sigma female doesn't cling to identities that no longer fit just to keep others comfortable. When life shows her that a chapter is done, she doesn't argue with the lesson. She evolves. This means there are friendships, habits, and even dreams she once cherished that she now quietly releases. Not because she stopped caring, but because she started understanding herself more clearly. She can look back with gratitude and still move forward with determination. While others hold on to old roles to feel secure, she embraces the uncertainty of becoming someone new. Her second life, the inner one, is where these transformations begin long before anyone notices the changes on the outside. In conclusion, some truths are too deep for the world to handle, so she keeps them inside. Have you ever wondered what it truly costs to be a woman who sees everything too clearly and feels everything too deeply? The Sigma female lives two lives, not because she enjoys the distance, but because she has learned that depth often has no audience. One life allows her to exist in the noise, to work, to connect, to play her part in the rhythm of the world. The other is quiet, sacred, and hidden, the space where her real self breathes freely without judgment or interruption. She moves between these worlds with quiet mastery. In one, she adapts and blends. In the other, she reflects and rebuilds. Life forced her into this duality, but she turned it into strength. Her two lives aren't acts of deception. They're acts of balance. They allow her to stay human without losing her soul, to be strong without becoming numb, and to stay kind without being used. What many don't realize is that her separation isn't loneliness, it's clarity. She's learned that not everyone deserves full access to her truth, and not every space can hold her depth. So she carries her worlds carefully, switching between them with the grace of someone who understands that peace and participation rarely live in the same place. The Sigma female's dual life is not a weakness, it's a form of wisdom, the kind that comes from surviving, observing and knowing herself too well to ever be fully seen by a world that looks but rarely understands. Thank you for watching until the end, and God bless you. If you've ever been misunderstood for valuing yourself, take this as your sign. You're not cold, you're conscious. Keep that energy, because that's what keeps you free. Thank you for watching, and God bless you. In the end, the double life of the Sigma female is not about hiding who she is, but about honoring the depth that few are ready to meet. Her outer world lets her move through life with grace, while her inner world keeps her rooted in truth, self-respect, and unshakable peace. If you find yourself living in two worlds like this, remember it's not a flaw. It's proof that your spirit refuses to shrink just to fit in. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. I'm your host, Alfred, and I read every comment.